kitchen. Come on in. Good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
All right, you guys ready to get started?
Well, I guess so.
Oh, excellent. Well, listen, we brought you shirts. We brought you shirts for work and shirts for play.
Oh,
so, of course, today you got to wear the work shirts.
Okay.
Right? You got to wear the work
right.
shirts. These are our homeowners. They want to remodel their kitchen. They want to do a bunch of the work themselves, to kind of to save costs, and just because they like doing this stuff. I mean, who doesn't? So, Mike and I are here today. We're going to help them get with the demolition, get things to a certain phase, and then they'll go. Yeah, go Mike. He's doing the heavy lifting today. That's right. And so we'll get it to let them do as much as they can with us. Get it to a certain part, and then we'll take over and do a couple of specialty things for them, and then they'll come back in and do some more, and we're just going to work hand in hand with you guys for this project.
So today we just take one tile out, right? That's what we need to do today.
It isn't quite how it works,
Okay.
but that's all right. We're going to go all have breakfast. That's it. That's right. This show's going to take a long time. All right, so put on your shirts.
Okay.
We'll go get ready to go, and let's make this happen. Okay, so give me a little overview. Do you want to keep anything in here?
Really?
Just thought I'd ask.
Well, we might be keeping a little bit from here up,
Okay.
and then we're going to change all of this. Definitely change this floor.
Keep the lights.
We'll keep the lights.
Okay. And I like this little beveled inset for your range fan.
Yes.
You gonna keep that?
We are.
That's cool. Okay.
That's kind of a little quirky design element from this era, so we thought we might as well keep it, but it's also a nightmare to get rid of it probably, so
Yeah.
we're just going to use both of those things.
Let's keep it simple.
All this work business has got to go.
Okay.
We have hernias every time we try to pull these out, and we both like to cook a lot. This one in particular, you have to come up under here like this, and sometimes it would jam.
All right.
And as we've been working with the painting, somebody had the idea to carry this color throughout, so we're dealing with that in another room. That's a different project, but one surface will be good.
Yes.
We're real fans of Formica. That's
Okay.
not exactly what's in right now.
Oh no, it's whatever works for you.
And so
Okay.
you want the functional end of a gourmet kitchen.
All right. Perfect.
So there you go.
So all this is coming out. One of the big things then that we're going to do is we're going to take this wall-mounted faucet and make it to be what's called deck-mounted, right? So you're no longer, all the plumbing is no longer going to come up and out of the wall here. It'll come up and to the top of your sink top and your countertop. Okay, so all the tiles coming out, all this mortar bed, this chicken wire mortar, and back behind all this, even so, is we have this lath and plaster. We can probably, Tony, I don't know if you can get a shot of this back here. Excuse me here. So the way the house is built from looking this way in was tiles set on mortar bed with chicken wire and basically roofing paper. And as I said, back behind is lath and plaster. And plaster is very hard, almost like a mortar cement mixture. And so it's going to take a lot of pounding and a lot of dust. But we're going to get all this out, so we're back to the studs, the framework, so it's all opened up, so it's very easy then for us to run new electrical, because we're going to put some receptacles along here, and as I said, we have to change the plumbing out to remove it from the wall to being deck mounted. There's a lot of work that's got to get done today. Let me rephrase that. There's a lot of work that they have to get done today.
I've already taken Advil.
All right. Well, we're going to get our tools and we're going to get started. Let's see.
This is the first item that's going to leave the kitchen. It's probably from about 1927. Cutting board. I hate to throw away all this patina here, but we never use it, and there you go. It's begun.
Wow. Okay.
You just push all that That's okay, I think we're taking that all off.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's perfect. Go ahead and go for it on this wall. Get all this off. Take all of that down because we're gonna expose the studs on this wall as well.
Okay.
Because we've got wiring and stuff we have to do. So back behind here, this is the same thing as if you see on the other side with the chicken wire.
Oh my God.
Just bust it right out. Beautiful avocado green. Yes, right.
Okay.
See? On this wall, so what they did was they used the wire to act as a backing for the plaster to go into. So the plaster is wet, it gets sucked into these little holes, and then dries, and then becomes a solid surface. If you look through the back side of the wall here, you see wooden slats. That's called lath, and these wooden slats do the same thing that the wire does. The wood slats go across. They take their wet plaster mud, push it in, and then it gets in between the slats, and then dries, and then the wood slats hold it in place just like the wire does. So.
Okay.
Just a little FYI
Oh, that's a big
for a
FYI.
Saturday.
Is that thing on 3G or just one?
Got the bottom. Know that stuff yet. Amazing.
All right, so we're gonna take all this tile off around here. Normally we would take the whole kitchen faucet off, but because if you look underneath, we don't have any what are called angle valves or shut-off valves. Usually there's the pipe that comes out and a valve with a line that goes up and feeds the faucet, and we don't have that on this because it's a old-fashioned wall mount. So we're just going to go ahead and probably leave the faucet intact and take everything off around it. Then when we're ready to reconfigure our plumbing, then we'll shut the water off to the house and do what we got to do. So what she's doing there is going through and going over the face of all the studs, making sure there's no nails sticking out because we want to have a smooth surface to nail our wallboard to.
Well, is that fun or what?
Yeah.
I just swept that floor.
Sorry.
Killing you.
Endless mess. Oh. So we're all gonna stand around and watch her as she cuts all the crown across the top of the cabinet. So just cutting the caulking and the painting line. That way when all that trim comes off, it doesn't peel back so much of the paint. And after she gets that done, we're going at it with a sledgehammer and some pry bars and crowbars and get the rest of this thing out of here. That whole thing, man, I've been waiting for this
Just for catharsis. Go for it.
Well,
That's right.
I'm
that's
rolling,
Right. That
so-
whole point. But I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Hey! Oh man, go, go, go!
All right, go! Yeah! All right!
Come under here, pop this up. Slide
Mike,
under here.
all right.
And then kind of roll this
Roll it,
sideways.
okay.
And we'll take that all off. Then we'll try under the tile and pop it up.
Okay. Look at that mess. I know, it is.
Up on there. Just take this out. Turn it around.
All right. So who's gonna do this?
I will.
Of course you will. That's good. All right. Okay, so our next step is that we're gonna have to undo the sink. And you'll see that we have these pipes under here, this J bend. It's also called a P-trap. And what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna loosen this slip joint nut and this slip joint nut so we can take this piece out. And you gotta remember, this is filled with water in here. That's what keeps the sewer gases from coming up through your sink. And so when you pull this, it's going to have water in it, so we have the bucket down underneath. And then that way when the sink comes out, and even if it just drops, we're not really worried about it. Probably what we'll do is we'll take our Sawzall and cut the pipe right here, because we're going to redo all this anyway. So then whereas we're doing all this heavy sink, if it drops, it's all right, we won't worry, and we've got this out of the way. So go ahead and take these channel locks, get around that, loosen those up. Go the other way. There you go. This one goes this way. Yeah, you might be loosening up. You can do it by hand too. Whoops, there you go, other way, okay. No, I was wrong.
Okay.
And they caught it on camera.
You just edit that out.
Yeah, we edited it out, that's right.
No, I'll leave it in.
No bonus for you.
Are these the only two segments
Yeah,
then?
you can take your channel locks if you want, just pop it down right there. Use that as a hammer right at this edge right here. Just tap, 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 right here. There you
Oh,
go.
gotcha.
See?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Cologne.
There you go. Awesome. So here you go. Your kitchen that was. Isn't that nice? So the plan is you've decided you're going to go back with your stove open on this side,
Correct.
right? With some base cabinets. And then above your stove there's going to be a range hood.
The hood, yes.
Yeah, and the
With a
hood.
stack up to there.
Pipe going out, the hood's got a little glass top on it.
Kind of a curve. Kind of
Nice.
to echo that curve there. In
Nice,
the wall, so-
okay. The one thing I thought was cool is that you were gonna do, you showed me a metal strip that you had that went along there, and then you took magnets from
And
a,
embedded those behind.
Okay.
And that'll be for the knife block, where you can just fling the knives up over the cutting area.
just kind of fling them up.
Fling them up there, and then that'll clear up the counter space for those.
I like it though.
Yeah.
So then they're gonna hang there. So,
They're pretty strong magnets
well, that's what got me. Where are you getting the magnets from?
from the hard drives of computers.
Hard drives of computers.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit on the back side of this
Underneath
metal.
of the metal. The metal will be up here.
Yeah.
The tile will come up here.
Excellent.
And then there'll be 3 accent tiles periodically spaced.
Excellent.
But the magnets will be behind here, then the subway tile here.
All right, all right. It's gonna look pretty good.
I think it will.
And then on the over
Yeah.
here, then we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna lower this. Take this wall mount faucet. We're gonna change this plumbing here so that the faucet will come up to be deck mount. We're gonna have to change this configuration where the waistline comes out. We're gonna need to take this off and reconfigure it so it drops a little lower. So we'll have a sink cabinet here, base cabinets, and then you're gonna go again with some uppers and
2 taller cabinets here,
Uh-huh.
pretty much like a pantry type thing. And
Okay.
then there'll be like 1 cabinet here with the glass doors.
glass doors showing through. Great.
Yeah.
And no place to fling your knife?
No knife flinging over here.
Excellent. So the next time we come back, we'll show what we've done plumbing wise and how we've run our electrical so we have receptacles all where they need to be, and get it all ready for wallboard. And at that point then, you guys get to do some drywall work.
That sounds great. That
Excellent.
sounds easier than what we did today.
All right.
Thanks,
Good.
Sarah.
You
All
bet.
right.
You bet.
All right.
Wow. Yippee-ki-yay. A lot of work got done, huh?
Yes, it did.
Man, even more demo than when we finished shooting last time. So got all the wall opened up, got all of the new electrical run for new receptacles down here for the dishwasher. And the main thing we did, remember how your plumbing, your pipe, your water came up because your faucet came off of the wall?
Right.
So we've changed all that to now it's coming up down low, up, and so now our sink's gonna sit, it'll drop in to this area. The water supply lines, we're gonna come up and tie in here so that your sink can be deck mounted as we talked about earlier. And I think this is the day we're gonna start hanging some sheetrock or wallboard as it's called, and kind of get this all closed up. The next time you guys see it, it's gonna look even more different.
Well, that's great because this was a beast of a demo.
It was fun.
It was never meant to be demolished. But that's okay. We managed it.
That's
so.
true. It's true. When it was built originally, it was built to stay.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna get going with our wallboard and show you some things in between. We'll teach you how to do some texturing with it and
Fantastic.
taping and
Great.
move on. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we've got to cut this, there's little rough edges. There was a cabinet here, and then over the years the painting and all, so we're going to take our razor knife, we're going to cut that, kind of trim that back, then you can take your scraper, scrape it. What we want is we want to have just a smooth transition so that as we texture with our mud that we don't end, the less lines that we have, the smoother we have, then the smoother it's going to be going across. So, just all the little pre-work we have to do before we can actually hang our wallboard.
I gave up on that puddle.
Okay, so what Mike's doing now is he's measuring across where all of the electrical boxes are, because we have to pre-cut the holes in the wallboard before we put it up. So he's measured from the inside corner over to the center point or edges of where each hole has to be cut, and then, of course, writing it on the wall. So now what Mike's doing is he's transferring the measurements that he took, that he wrote on the wall, and transferring them to the face of the wallboard. And then he'll cut those holes out so that the wallboard will fit around our electrical boxes. So now, using a sheetrock saw, or what we used to call it, like a keyhole saw. What'd you call it, Mike?
Jab saw?
A jab saw. She's going to go ahead and cut those squares, those openings out. So at each of of the studs, she's making a mark on the floor so that when we put our drywall up against the wall and cover the studs up, we can follow that mark up and know where we got to nail it. We have wood to nail into.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, yeah.
Okay. Who wants to scoop?
I can. Okay.
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 And if you put your toe, as you're going down, towards the mark.
That was a success.
That's all right. Okay, now you know that we're all watching.
I know.
No. The entire world is watching.
Should maybe got the nails.
That's all right.
So last time I was here, you guys were just beginning to put up the wall in that section behind the lower half of that wall behind the stove. So what besides that has happened?
Oh, well, since then, we've passed a plumbing inspection, and so Mike buttoned up this wall. This is like a backer board. We're going to put a glass tile, a backsplash in here, and then the sink will go here. And then I've just come around here with like a joint compound and some gauze tape to try to even out the seams between the two sheets, to even that. And then there's some over the sheetrock screws here to just kind of make an even surface.
That's what's called taping, right?
Taping, yes.
Yeah.
And then over here, this is a really old wall, and I just tried to even this out. There's like a couple of coats of this and then sand it down so when it's painted, hopefully there won't be a lot of difference between the textures. I am going to use a fairly rough roller to try to minimize the difference between this surface and this one. Oh, this is toxic waste here. This is like a century of linoleum and these stick down tiles that, because they were so uneven and we're going to float a cork floor on here, we're trying to make it minimize the difference in the surfaces, so hopefully we won't feel it when we walk across it. So that's why we're ripping the rest of this up.
Okay.
You get started and it's hard to find a stopping place, but as Mike was saying, we can feather on the floor with a different kind of compound for the areas that we just can't remove, and some of them are pretty stuck down and they'll stay.
So what type of floor is actually going to be installed?
We're going to use a floating cork floor that was actually made in Portugal, but since East is Portuguese and this is from Portugal, we were going to have a little piece of Portugal in the house, and then it's like a locking, like has a routed out area.
Okay.
And this is really good for sound dampening. It's good for people with asthma. I'm going to do a little plug for cork because we love it.
Okay.
And
get real close.
It really. It's really good, like I said, for people with asthma and dog hair and all that, and they don't slide on it like they would bamboo. So it's soft underfoot and a good, as I said, a sound dampener. These areas that are uneven are going to get another type of topping compound that's similar to what's on here.
Okay.
This in the breakfast nook there too that need to be sanded out.
Right.
When this is all really smooth across here, then we're going to hit it with a coat of Kills and then paint, and at that point it'll start looking like a kitchen. That's at least, Mike, what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Sequence wise, I'm not sure, but
It should.
okay, it should.
And then your cabinets Will be going in.
You have to, then you actually get to make the kitchen itself. Right now we're just doing bare walls.
Bare walls. We're preparing
Okay.
the ground for all
And
of
these
it.
will be like brand new cabinet style.
Yes, they're an
Completely.
IKEA kitchen
Okay.
that we're putting in, and Issa's putting those together, about 3 or 4 at the time. They're in the studio right now, and
Okay.
we're like so cramped for space in the house that we're just doing it a little at the time. And there'll be a hood that will come in here, and we decided to put a built-in microwave in this cabinet here rather
Oh,
than
cool.
just a slide-in.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much what it'll look like.
Okay, this has got to be one of the most interesting things I've ever shot for Terry, because usually she does the work for the homeowner, and this is like the homeowners are basically doing the work with the help of SHEcan2.
A lot of help from
SHEcan2, yeah.
SHEcan2, because we didn't know what we were doing, and
Right.
we didn't want to have a sledgehammer and bust out half the house and go oops.
Okay.
The doctor is in the house. Yeah. That's
Up
good.
there?
That's
Okay.
good.
All right. You'll stand on the edge.
Which board? I like it.
Give us an update. What's the last time I was here? You were putting floor in, and it sort of looked like it was kind of a big jigsaw puzzle. Well, I'm looking around here and I'm seeing a big jigsaw puzzle now
It's
in 3D.
still a jigsaw puzzle.
It's a big
It's,
jigsaw.
it's just on a different plane right now.
Right. These are you're doing. So the floor got finished.
The floor is
Of course,
finished.
right now we can't see it because you've got some safety paper down.
Right.
Good move.
Well, the only things that have happened since then, we've done the painting, and that took several coats, and we put the IKEA cabinets together.
So you had to
and
put those together first
we
before
had to put
putting
them
them
together
in.
first, and tried to do kind of a dry run to see,
Right.
where the spacer pieces were going to go.
Right.
Like this.
And because the spacer pieces made a longer bolt size, we've been buying pieces all along this
Right.
morning to try to make it work. So the hardest thing was getting this piece squared up. So, and that's about where we are.
Right, so I see this is probably where the sink is going to be
This is
going.
going to be where the sink goes.
And of course the holes were drilled in exactly the perfect spots. So what is your projection for wrapping?
Wrapping it up.
Yeah, because there's still probably quite a bit to go.
Well, we've got to finish this bank and install the sink,
sink
the
has to be-
dishwasher, the countertop. We're going to do the glass mosaic tile.
Okay,
And then on this side, there'll be a hood installed
right.
and 2 or 3 more cabinets here.
Right.
Nothing up here.
So workspace.
Workspace here,
Yeah, okay.
prep area
Yeah.
for the kitchen. And then that should be that'll be the wrap.
And you're going to have the of course the pull out old-fashioned cutting board, right?
Oh yes, yes, we saved that from the old kitchen with all its, 1,000 years of knife marks.
and not to mention 1,000 years probably of germs.
Exactly.
Wouldn't
So
those-
many
yeah.
germs that if you could survive that cutting board, you would
Exactly.
not ever get sick again.
Exactly.
That's true.
All right, well here we go. So this is where it's at right now. It's sort of controlled chaos.
It is, and it's kind of echoes our philosophy. We like to mix the old with the new.
Right.
So we've got a contemporary style in IKEA with a
Right.
really old house. And somehow the two manage to make some kind of alchemy before it's all said and done.
Right, and as the artist, you guys can probably look ahead and see. I know exactly what it's going to look like.
We kind of do.
Yeah, it's going to look fabulous when it's finished. Right now, it sort of looks interesting.
It's interesting right now.
Okay, we will see you next time then.
All right, that sign it should be
Yeah.
well underway next
Hopefully
time.
Terry will be with us next time also.
Sounds great.
Microwave?
Angela, last time we were here, you had just begun. I think this cabinet here was maybe up, and the stove was certainly here, but there was nothing around it. Now I'm starting to see there's cabinets on either side. There's a lovely wall there, but this, you should see the shot I'm seeing. It's like something out of the Enterprise. I mean, it's just. Tell me about this. What's this to begin with, but then what's been going on since we were here last?
Well, most of the last work session was getting all of the cabinetry squared up, and then we had to assemble the drawers, and there still have to be. They don't have the handles yet, but they're
Right.
yeah,
The hardware goes in.
The hardware
right?
goes in. They get tightened up a little bit. The countertops are in, and this will be a stainless steel strip here,
Oh, that's
and we'll
nice.
just peel that off. And the sink has been set in.
Yeah.
There'll be an air valve here because of code in California, not national code, but California. And
Always California.
Always California.
Yeah.
The dishwasher is hooked up.
Oh,
I think
cool.
it's operational, and we'll be putting the spacer bars in here to
Okay.
fill these gaps. That's part of the kitchen design. Then the hood went in, exhaust fan, and again, I don't know if
And that's what that is that I'm seeing. It
that's
looks
an
like
exhaust fan,
okay.
and it complements the design that we wanted all of the workspace bank to have airspace and openness.
Right.
So
It's got a very futuristic look for some reason. I don't know. Probably because my penchant for Star Trek, but it just looks very futuristic.
well, it sounds kind of hokey, but one of the reasons why we chose this was again the glass, like the glass dining room table, and then the curve of this seemed to amplify that design in the old house,
Right.
which we're trying to marry the old and the new, and it's been somewhat of a challenge because things crop up that you don't realize.
Like.
Well, like what's behind the walls and the chicken
Sure.
wire and all,
Sure.
all that.
Yeah. So basically what I'm seeing is sink, dishwasher, cabinets.
And the microwave is about ready to be put in. They're
And
getting ready
that's-
to put in a built-in microwave. It's already wired up,
Oh, okay.
and that'll be plugged up in here.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's in and out of the way, and that's more cabinet space up there, I'm guessing, and all
There's
these.
more cabinet space.
And like I said earlier, I just love your sky blue cabinets. They are so pretty. I
Well,
mean,
thank you. We should just leave
but-
that plastic on there.
yes, you told me that it's coming off. That they're really white.
They're really white, so we'll have to pull up the color in other ways, some spot
Right.
color.
But the paint is a little bit like a robin's egg.
It is.
Very, very
it's
light.
Very,
I love that.
Very subtle from the ceiling.
Right. So if we were to come back, say in a few days, like halfway through the week, would we be any further along?
We
or?
are sure hoping to have the backsplash in and
Okay.
the tile on this side. So the final design elements, if you will, we would hope to have those by midweek.
Wow. So
Yeah.
when is the finished product supposed to be totally done?
Well, I'm afraid to commit
We
to
won't.
any
We
of
won't
that,
commit.
so-
But if you could, a guess. 2
Oh,
weeks?
let's just say 2 weeks.
Ah. Okay. Cool.
That might be a little long, but just to be on the safe side.
All right.
Okay, so keep your head down. Okay, head down. Okay, all right. Open your eyes. Okay, open your eyes.
Okay, so this is it. You guys have been doing. Oh my god! Whoa! You
really been working.
Wow! Just like you said then, all the knives looking. I think I like that the best. Wow! This looks great. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love the cork floor.
That's
Oh,
really one of our favorite parts.
Wow! What a transformation! Wow! A lot of work?
Yes, it is a lot of work. It's just like loads of details. They just keep coming.
Right,
You come
right.
one and then there's 10 more.
Right. So what started out as thinking that, oh, this will be a nice, we'll just do it and it'll just take us a little bit, we'll save some money, do it ourselves, get a little bit
by
done.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween was the target date.
Well, okay, so, this is like almost January. That's not
Right.
so bad.
Yeah. Same year.
Yeah, doggone it, that's right. Oh my goodness. And you guys did all this tile work yourselves?
We did.
This is just
I brought the
gorgeous.
other bags in here.
But we're gonna put
Nice.
sanded grout behind there. Because
Yes.
the rest of it is unsanded, so
Right,
you just
right.
have to do that yet.
Right, because it's a little more spacing, so you need the sand in there. And another thing you might want to do also is to do the grout in a caulking tube. So it has basically like a silicone base to it.
Oh, okay.
So the grout will tend to, as it dries, it deteriorates and
Oh, okay.
chips off and this and the other. And so that silicone base grout then
Okay.
will act more like a membrane and
We'll
with
do
all the
that.
water. Yeah.
So-
Oh my goodness.
I'll hold it up. If you,
Oh my goodness.
Now this has been on and off the wall probably 3 times because I didn't have the wall as flat as it really needed to be. And of course we found that out when we were holding it in the air.
Right. When you try to put something like
This
this
is not gonna work. I see air.
Oh my goodness. Remember what it was before? This is what an incredible transformation.
It really is.
Wow.
And I tell you, these IKEA drawers, I mean, what we really like is you just kind of
Right. Soft close.
soft close.
Soft close
and-
doors. That's a big thing these days. A big selling point for things. This looks gorgeous. I like how it's all just integrated in. You guys did a real nice job.
We had a lot of really good help. Excuse me just a minute. Yeah?
Oh, what a great transition. Obviously they're not completely finished yet. They got little fine details here and there, but they've come a long ways and they did a great job. And we were just glad to help out for little bits and pieces of it throughout. So kudos to them.